Well, we are able now in my industry, market research, to do much more continuous data. In the past, you used telephone interviews, on the street interviews. These were expensive and processing was slow. These days we have online research, which of course means that it happens instantaneously. It goes into the databases as immediately the clicks have ended. They can be processed straight away, and they are cheaper. And as a consequence, we have produced at YouGov a whole series of products that are continuous data flows about customer reaction. Not only customer reaction, but non-customer reaction as well. Who are the people you don't reach that you can get in our panel? So that means there is now much more data available in real time. The trouble is, most companies are not yet geared up for using the data, for using data in the real-time context, that is to say, make changes in real time. And so we're a little bit ahead sometimes in being able to supply data that would be very useful if companies were in a position to use them. Well, we have, at YouGov, we have 400,000 people on our panel, and we talk to a section of them every day about all the top brands, 1,000 brands a day. We get data on and how people are feeling about them, how they're purchasing them, what they've noticed about them, and lots of other surveys as well. So we have consumer response to brands, to changing marketplaces in real time, and that's new. From the point of view of my business, the big question is how do you improve your marketing as fast as possible? Traditionally, you designed a campaign, you took it to market, you waited and to see if it worked. At the end of it, you made an assessment and you thought, well, did that work or not? Shall I do it differently next time? These days, for the first time, we can assess how people are responding to campaigns in real time. That means you can change your campaigns in real time. You don't have to let something that isn't working run and run. You know which programs now are succeeding in converting customers and which aren't. That is new. That saves a huge amount of money. It also saves a huge amount of time. You can focus on real results in real time. Trust, of course, is a very important issue in all of this intense use of data. Because in some ways, when you use it and you were to respond to customers, you suddenly find yourself perhaps the object of suspicion. How do you know this about me? Why are you collecting this data about me? And we've had this whole question about cookies, for example. Now, cookies have become a somewhat negative, a negative word. People get nervous about the fact they're being tracked. On the other hand, cookies is what holds the whole web together. The whole web experience depends upon sites knowing that you're coming back and what you've done before to improve the service they give you. So there's this real sort of, positive, negative thing at the same time. I think people are going to get used to that. They're going to understand how to see, why companies are doing this. They're going to realize that nothing bad is happening, and they will accept some degree of tracking because that gives them a better service. Mobile technology, I think, presents a big opportunity, but also an increased danger. And the reason is, of course, part of the same thing. The opportunity is you're with people in real time. You can intervene. You can text them with a message to say you've just passed a shop where we have a voucher for. Do you want to go in and use it? Or you've just bought something somewhere, and would you tell us how it was? And here's a reward you get for doing that. It's pretty. It can make you pretty nervous, I think, in real time to be stopped by by a company you've passed or by a researcher to say, we know where you've just been, we want to know what you think right now. It's great for research, it's great for marketing, it's, I think, possibly a bit negative on the customer. Everybody now is making huge promises about how they can use data to improve services, and of course execution on this is a huge problem, because the more data you have, the more processing, the more opportunities you have for error as well as for success. And we're really at a very early stage with most companies of being able to respond to these opportunities. A huge amount is being promised, not always that much delivered. I think there's some difference between the generations, that younger people, of course, live their life on the internet. They're much less concerned about privacy. After all, they're on Facebook to share every aspect of their lives. They know what they're doing, they know that it's being seen, and they don't seem to mind. For older people, that obviously isn't something they're used to. But actually, as time goes on, I think everybody is learning about this. Everybody is accepting that they are going to get a better service, they are going to get a better response if, in fact, they share information. Sharing information is something that seems new to us now. Go back a few hundred years, everybody's life was pretty much in a glass house. If you lived in a village, everybody knew what you were doing. So it's not unnatural for people to share information. That's actually what we do as humans. It's just new now that it's done digitally. And we've had a period of privacy. We've had a period of disappearing behind net curtains. That's a fairly recent development for humanity, but that's not how we've always been. We're getting back to something that's more like the earlier period.